we are back once again for the second half of action here at the MRDA Championships, Gateway to the Best in Baldwin, Missouri. And we're going to restart here. 30 minutes to go in this second period. 91-58 the score in favor of the Magic City Misfits against the New York Stock Exchange.
Wait a second. We're in Baldwin. We're not in St. Louis?
Well, we're just outside of St. Louis.
I saw the arch. I know that. It's not far from here.
I didn't.
You didn't see it?
I passed by it, I'm sure, but I didn't see it.
Good God, man. Were you sleeping at the wheel?
I wasn't at the wheel. I was in the back seat. It makes it hard to see some things.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, especially when there's 6 people back there.
And we start this one off, and it looks like Jonathan R. taking an intentional fourth minor to sit in the box immediately. T-Stop Tornado sent off to the box as well, so only 2 skaters out there currently for the New York Stock Exchange. The Jammer.
Jeremy Strecker and Ladies Night.
And the only other skater on the track currently for, well, it was Abe Drinkin, but they bring T-Stop Tornado right back out onto the track. That's the second time today that T-Stop has been sent out and then sent right back on.
Well, I think the inn was full. It was the issue. I think he was waved on.
I don't really see how that's. Well, I guess so. Jonathan R. I'm used to him being a jammer, so not in the jammer seat this time is Jonathan R.
Jammer seat.
And no score on that pass. That one gets called off.
That's called a lot of use of energy for no real reason.
Except it gets us closer to the end of the bout. Now 1 minute gone by.
Oh, yeah, the Misfits aren't going to care. We'll couple skate the whole time.
And now once again, Mike Cowart taking the jammer line for the Magic City Misfits. And that's Ronnie Mako he's up against there at the line.
I've not seen much of Ronnie Mako out there in this particular. Oh, look at that.
And a major cut, and Mike Cowart being sent to the box, and Ronnie Mako going to have a power jam situation. He gets past Heath Frazier at the front of the pack, and he is sent to the box on a track cut. So Mike Cowart going to come back out.
Oh, Heath Frazier just puts a nice lick.
That was Ace of Skates that he dropped there in the inside of the infield.
Ace of Skates, yeah.
An illegal procedure as Mike Cowart comes out of the box. He's sent back to the box for another minute. Ronnie Mako already out. So we've double switched the power jam situation, and Ronnie Mako finally out in front, and that's going to complete his initial pass as he made that foul at the front of the pack last time coming through on his initial pass.
Oh, now we've got Heath Frazier being sent to the box.
And Ronnie Mako pushing on Johnny Weichel in the front of the pack, picks up all 5 points for the Grand Slam.
And the Misfits can ill afford to just explode at this point, or implode.
45 seconds remaining in this jam, potentially, as Ronnie Mako tries to make his way around the outside, dueling with Chuck Best and Johnny Weichel up at the front. Derek Calkins bridging the gap between them and the Stock Exchange. And finally, they've got to let Ronnie Mako go. He picks up another 5 points.
Kind of an odd move there where Abe Drinkin kind of dodged and I think closed up. It almost was a split pack.
Well, you had Chuck Best and then later on Johnny Weichel also bridging to create an extra long pack right there.
Yeah.
And they're doing it again as Johnny Weichel right in the middle, and Abe Drinkin's doing it as well. Stretching out the pack about 30 feet long as Ronnie Mako picks up another Grand Slam, and we've only got a second left in this jam. That's going to end it. So a lot of points right there for Ronnie Mako. He cuts this lead to under 20 points, 91-73.
Yeah, that's everything we've talked about is that no matter how hard you try to shut down the Stock Exchange, they're never done until the last whistle blows.
Well, they certainly almost made a run at the end of that St. Louis Gatekeepers bout earlier today, coming up just short. But it looked like they were put away and done for the day.
Absolutely.
And they managed to come back and make a game out of it and make St. Louis have to work for those last couple of seconds to ensure the victory. So official timeout right now.
So tell me, X, when you've got a scenario like that, where you've got your jammer fighting 2 people up front. You've got the third opponent bridging. What is the advantage to your team then also bridging? Wouldn't you want to split that up?
That's exactly what I would think. I don't know why you help the other team out by building their bridge for them.
Yeah, okay.
I'm kind of with you there. It seems like you split that pack. They've got to let your guy go, and that's the best outcome for you.
All right. I thought maybe there was something going on somebody hadn't told me about.
Maybe they made some new rules before we started this up.
Some new strategy that I wasn't getting. Or maybe it was just reverse psychology.
Maybe neither of us are getting it. Maybe that's the problem. But ladies' night now up in front trying to get around.
Oh, and Hunter Collins is sent off to the box.
And Tim Kugler and Jeremy Strecker were holding ladies' night back. They knock him. Heath Frazier lays a hit on him.
Into next week, unfortunately.
And Jeremy Strecker trying to force a cut on ladies' night, unable to do it. Ladies' night still struggling at the front of that pack. Multiplayer block called on the outside.
He backed up, and it was just like letting go of a rope in tug-of-war. They just stumbled.
Well, when you're using your body leverage against somebody like that and they drop away, that makes it hard for you to keep your balance, and that's exactly what Ladies' Night set up there.
Ladies' Night doing a nice job. Heath Frazier, when he goes to lay his backside on you, he doesn't miss very often. And Ladies' Night continuing to just push. Another coach telling him to go slow, and I think he said, yeah, I'm already there.
He's like, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
And he gets pushed to the outside at the rear of the pack by Heath Frazier once again. Clockwise block called against him, so he's going to go to the box.
And the Misfits just have to, they've got to stop. Look at this, it's a race to the box.
And Hunter Collins now out of the box for the Magic City Misfits. Stops right behind the line against Mullen Brando and Jeff Ariba. Gets by Mullen Brando with a good move.
He pretty much got clotheslined, which has got to be a multiplayer block.
So that was Hunter Collins' first pass through. There's only about 15 seconds remaining in this jam. And Ladies' Night calls it off. Are they going to be able to award any points to the Magic City Misfits? No, they will not, but Ladies' Night does pick up 5 more points on another Grand Slam right at the end of that. Looks like there was a little dust up at the end of that. Looks like Jeffery maybe going to go to the penalty box.
Yeah, and I don't think that was frustration or anything else. I think that was just momentum not being able to stop.
But what that did, the jam there by Ladies' Night has now cut this game to 3 points, 91-88 in favor of the Magic City Misfits. We essentially have a tie game. With 24 minutes almost remaining. So 6 minutes into the period, that 60-point deficit virtually eliminated.
And collision back there, there's people, bodies all over the floor.
Chris Smith holding back Jonathan R. as he tries to make his way around the outside.
Johnny Weichel trying to work himself through, but Jonathan R. is going to go around the outside.
And Starsky doing a great job holding back Johnny Weichel at the front of the pack.
Yeah, he gave us a major track cut. I saw it.
Johnny Weichel with the major track cut. He is off in the penalty box. And just as the shock exchange did in the first half, the Misfits are now shooting themselves in the foot, allowing New York back into this. And it looks like very likely New York's going to take the lead on this game.
We got another clockwise block call on
Heath
Frazier. I'll tell you, I think he leveled him with his tail end, so that's not to say that he couldn't have switched the position to do it that way, I suppose.
Well, the style of blocking that the Misfits use, I think, opens them up to a lot of clockwise blocking
or at least
possibilities.
The speculation.
Exactly. It makes them have to look at that a little bit more closely. So you've seen a few of those calls in this game, and you've seen a few, usually minors, but a lot of calls for multiplayer blocks as well. So 5 more points picked up by Jonathan R. as he fights his way through the pack one more time. And the Shock Exchange have taken a 12-point lead as they've kept the Magic City Misfits at 91 points for quite a while now. I believe, in fact, that was their score at halftime, was it not?
Yeah.
So no points so far, almost 8 minutes gone by for the Magic City Misfits. They trail by 12, 103-91 with 22-12 remaining. And we have a timeout called by the Magic City Misfits.
Yeah, Meow Mix not happy. She's
got something to talk over with Sugar Daddy in the middle of the track.
Well,
with Chris Smith.
And it might just be a matter of where they're trying to get a clarification on why somebody is drawing continually. Yeah, you know, maybe the clockwise block or whatever. You know, and as a coach, you've got to be on top of that, because if you continually draw those fouls, you just don't want to wait till the end of the game to figure out what the heck the problem is. Have them explain it to you. I mean, this is just, it would be a shame. And nobody wants to lose this, and I have tremendous respect for both of these teams, but it would be a tremendous shame to see Magic City just wind up almost throwing this based on penalties that we're not used to seeing,
And Johnny Weichel comes out of the box. The Magic City Misfits technically started this one with their box completely full, but Johnny Weichel out and through the pack. He picks up lead jammer status. That's the first one in a while.
Harmsway did get a probably a back block or a forearm on that last one, but he went to the end and the end was full, so he's going to be out there until they got space for him.
That's right. The spots in the box taken up by Jeffery and New York's pivot.
Ronnie Mako's going to get run to the outside, and instead Johnny Weichel's going to get...
Ronnie Mako is awarded 3 points.
Did Ronnie call it off?
I don't know who called it off, but Ronnie Mako was awarded the points.
Okay, it looked like Johnny... looked like Johnny was signaling it.
Johnny was lead jammer. I'm pretty sure Johnny called it off.
Yeah, I was going to say Johnny was signaling it. Jeremy Stricker going to be out there right now.
Up against Harm's Way once again, but a 4-on-2 or a 4-on-1 or 3 blocking advantage for the Misfits.
Oh, there we go.
And right along the inside of Will Vereen. And Jeremy Stricker way out in front now.
Oh my.
We've got a skater down on the track. Oh, and Johnny Weichel, or Jeremy Stricker just runs over the downed skater, unable to stop his momentum.
I didn't see who went down, but man, that was a horrid flip. Obviously, Jeremy had no idea he was there.
No, that was not an intentional thing by Jeremy Stricker at all.
I didn't see the block, I just saw the outcome. And
yeah, I saw the roll. I did not see the contact.
And we'll be hopeful that it's nothing. Look at, kind of had it looked like it was upper body to it, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it's not a broken collarbone or a dislocated shoulder, or he's okay. Oh, he's okay.
Great. He gets up and that's Ace of Skates.
And Christopher Smith comes over and gives him a hug. Apparently the two of them must have gotten tangled up.
Yeah, Ace of Skates there getting tied up and took a nasty roll over there out of turn 4.
Wasn't just the roll, but when he laid there, it certainly was a frightening moment.
And he's obviously got a problem. It looks like his right quad. He's icing up right now.
Oh, it's not close to his upper body. That's why I'm not a doctor. He's giving a thumbs up to somebody. He's got somebody out in the crowd there, must be concerned about him, so I shouldn't say that. Somebody special. You know, I'm sure the whole crowd's concerned. We're all concerned.
Indeed.
But that was cool. There's been some hot times, I think, and some misconceptions of this Misfits team from earlier days, and I think Christopher Smith has been one of those guys who's really tried to be an ambassador to show that these guys play hard and that they do respect the other teams that are out on the floor. And it was nice to see him making sure that Ace of Skates was okay.
Well, and we know from having seen this game last year, it's when these teams play, it's always very intense, but this is a different kind of intense this year, I think.
Jeffrey with a flying Superman on top of Jeremy Strecker. I believe it was a seat grab in there somewhere.
But Jeremy Strecker way out in front, but not lead jammer, and Jonathan R. gains lead jammer status, calls the jam off in a rather flamboyant way, almost hits the deck because of it, but stays up on his skates because that's what he does. And the New York Stock Exchange now up by 11 points, 110 to 99, as we've come down just under 20 minutes remaining.
Yeah, that's not like Jonathan, and I'm not sure this is the team that I would want to do any showboating against.
No, not with this much time left, for sure.
No, these guys feed on emotion.
It's one thing to do the high stepping into the end zone whenever you're way out in front, but whenever the guy's right behind you, it's not a smart idea.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Hunter's going to get through.
No, he's going to be sent to the box.
For what this time?
I couldn't see. There were a couple of skaters in my way. I couldn't see the call by the referee. I just saw him being pointed out for a major.
It couldn't have been a track cut.
I don't think it was a track cut. But now Ladies Night slowly out of the pack. He's going to be your lead jammer.
Oh, and Ladies Night's just got to feel like this is the longest day of his life.
Couple of signs of life in the second half from him, but the game against the St. Louis Gatekeepers earlier today and the first half of this game saw Ladies Night really struggling, but now picking up another grand slam. And he is a big part of what brought his team back into this one.
Oh, yeah, no question.
But it has been very difficult going. I mean, just like that, having to push against Chris Smith to get around, that's so much energy that's got to be expended.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's making it happen. I mean, good for him, because that is not an easy task.
Well, one thing we do know about the Stock Exchange, they never say die. I mean, that's why they were able to come back in that game earlier today against the Gatekeepers and make that one a game after being down early.
Well, and I think the thing is he's learning, too, is that, you know, if these guys don't have their toe stops planted, he's able to keep driving them one direction so he could slip off of them the other way.
And Hunter Collins back in the game at jammer for the Magic City Misfits. Ladies Night picks up another grand slam, but that's probably going to be the last one, as Hunter Collins now on his tail. This time only 4 points to pick up in the pack for...
oh, my. Huge mistake by the Magic City Misfits right there.
They allowed Ladies Night to swing through there and pick up a couple more points and call that one off.
They had no shot at closing up the inside, and that was just him coasting through and calling it off.
And that gives the New York Stock Exchange a 35-point lead. So this has swung all the way around in a little, about almost 13 minutes of play. Magic City has managed to put up 8 points so far in the second half. And the New York Stock Exchange coming from 58 points, I believe, all the way up to 132 so far in just this 13 minutes.
And now we've actually got 2 full fields.
Wow.
And big collision there. TJ Binkley and...
looks like T-Stop Tornado went down as well.
Yeah, is that Jonathan R. that he took down? Yes. And
way out in front is TJ Binkley, the lead jammer for the Misfits. And New York trying to recycle to the front, shoots and splatters, and Abe Drinkin to get in front of TJ Binkley.
Oh, and Binkley, well, actually, Binkley got knocked to the inside. I guess that made sense at that point. They just about had a split pack. But they finally break the stymie on this thing.
Looks like it's going to be Johnny Weichel and Ronnie Mako kicking this one off. But it looks like maybe Mike Cowart behind there taking an intentional fourth minor, going to the box.
Oh, and it could be his last one ever. I think we should historically record these things. January 1st, you'll never have to poodle again.
Heath Frazier opens up a hole on the inside. Johnny Weichel is through.
The track.
And he does. He's called for it. He's sent out to the penalty box. He doesn't know what he did. But out on the track still is Ronnie Mako. He gets around Chris Harrell up at the front of the pack and calls it off. We're going to reset this one with a new jammer.
Yeah, I don't know. It was from this angle, it was hard to tell if he would have passed anybody. I think he felt that he was definitely pushed out of bounds backwards, but that he didn't pass anybody, and that he just stepped back in. But by the time you take a look at that inside, the inside corner, who knows?
So 3-on-3 in the pack for these teams. Abe Drinkin now donning the jammer star for the New York Stock Exchange, trying to push Chuck Best, and I think that's Tim Kugler. Tim Kluger now bridging, and Abe Drinkin out in front picks up lead jammer status. Pack going nowhere, staying right between the pivot and jammer lines. And Abe Drinkin through his jammers. Filthy McNasty back out on the track for the Stock Exchange, giving them a full.
And this is where, and I think Stryker's trying to do that right, and this is where they need to get him out. They need to work together to run him out instead of just hold him up.
Right. If they can hold him out, he has to go back.
They're moving him to the outside. Somebody's got to deliver that blow. One guy can hold him up long enough that the other one can sweep him out.
Of course, they did have sort of a disadvantage at blocking right there, and they're going to have more of it as Jeremy Strecker now sent to the box. But Abe Drinkin completes a 5-point pass.
Weichel comes through, and Ladies Night.
Ladies Night got laid out, that's for sure, and he's going to the box.
It looked like Weichel came through and legs got caught up. I don't know what the call was on Ladies Night, unless it was a low block.
So 13:30 remaining in this one, 142 to 104, 38-point lead now for the New York Stock Exchange. They were down early in this one, if you're just joining us, and have stormed back in this second half. A lot of power jam situations allowing them to get back into this one. A lot of misfit jammers seeing a lot of time in the penalty box.
All right, now the Misfits are going to take a timeout, and good time to do that. Right now you're looking at 13 minutes left. You're looking at a stretch that they can overcome, and if you're going to fix the problem, you got to do it right now.
Well, as I said, a 38-point deficit, and as I said earlier, the Stock Exchange able to erase basically a 60-point deficit in about 6 minutes. So it can be done.
Yeah.
And there's more than enough time to do it, but things have to change out there on the track.
Yeah, well, obviously the biggest thing is they just got to clean it up. And I think that for whatever reason that the blocking they had at the very beginning of the game they just are not working it as efficiently as they had been. And I think an example of that is exactly what we were talking about. When they got two guys holding the guy straight up, they're almost to the outside line. I think before we were seeing them pushing jammers out of bounds, so they had to recycle themselves. And now those jammers are pushing through. And that was the same problem they really had against your mom. They just didn't seem to be able to stand these guys up and run them out of bounds like they are capable of at times.
Right. Getting ready to start this next jam number 12 in this second half. Jonathan R. up against Derek Calkins. And Jonathan R. hits that front raw. Chris Harrell, Chris Smith. And now both jammers out of the pack. Jonathan R. is going to be your lead right in front of Derek Calkins. Both circling the track. And it looks like they're both going to attempt to score. And Jonathan R. tries to get by one skater and call it off. He's not going to get any points, though. He went out of bounds, I think, on the outside as he was trying to make that call.
A wheel or a toe stop or something. Oh.
Anybody missing a gumball? There we go.
Toe stop, yeah.
Chris Smith collects his toe stop. And then once again, it's going to be 4-on-3 in favor of New York, blocking-wise, to start this one off. 12 and a half minutes remaining, 142 to 104. Still a 38-point lead for the Stock Exchange. Out in front are Chuck Best and Johnny Weichel. Bridging is Abe Drinkin, Filthy McNasty, and Baynana on skates, trying to clear some room for Ronnie Mako. They reform into a wall. Ronnie Mako around the outside of it now against Chuck Best and Johnny Weichel at the front. Just Chuck Best to get by now, and of course he's pushing back and has to let Ronnie Mako go, so that's going to be lead jammer status for Ronnie Mako.
And Kugler choosing to go to the outside, which was totally crammed. I think he could have gone to the inside, got around Banan on skates.
And Ronnie Mako stopped on the inside by Chuck Best, has to call the jam off. He's going to pick up 3 points, I believe. So a 3-0 jam right there in favor of New York furthers their lead to 41 points.
And we'll see Jeremy Strecker out there one more time. Is that ladies' night that's lined up? Keeps hiding.
He does. He's hiding right behind Ace of Skates.
Oh,
and that's
my!
Not ladies' night. That's going to be Starsky.
That's a major back block. Yep.
Harmsway is going to go out for the major back block. Jeremy Strecker's your lead
wow.
jammer. Way out in front now. Starsky held up in the pack by the 2 blockers that remain.
Cut. There's that cut that would pretty much shred your ankles. Oh, man. And he's taking it in the face again.
Yep, he's holding his nose as he's being chased around the around the track right now by Starsky.
Either that or somebody's pads really smell.
And Jeremy Strecker able to get through and call the jam off. Starsky's going to pick up 1 point. And it looks like only 3 points is that for Jeremy Strecker? I think so. I think he didn't get all the way through the pack on that one.
No, I don't think he did either.
He was ready to call that one off as soon as he hit the rear of the pack. He knew how close Starsky was behind him. And we line up once again. Jonathan R. in front wearing the pivot cover. This time it's Chuck Best and Abe Drinkin, the jammers. Three-on-one blocking advantage.
Oh, nice moves by Chuck Best. You're not going to outshoot Jonathan R. Oh, my.
Heath Frazier on the floor along with Abe Drinkin. And Jonathan R. being sent to the box for it.
I'm just surprised he was able to do that.
And T-Stop Tornado tries a hit on Chuck Best. Chuck able to get a little lower than T-Stop. And 5 points picked up by Chuck Best on that pass. Chris Harrell being sent to the penalty box for the Misfits.
Oh! Chuck doesn't land it.
Takes a spill trying to land the apex jump.
And I don't think he needed to do it either because it didn't look like they were quite prepared for him. I think he could have just as easily cut through the middle of it, but he tries to take the tough way around. Unfortunately, he doesn't stick the landing. He got some air though.
He did.
You don't see an apex jump usually that high up in the air.
2 blockers in the box for each team, 2 blockers on the floor, although Harmsway getting ready to come back in for the New York Shock Exchange, standing up in the penalty box. And this time around the inside is Derek Calkins. He's going to pick up lead jammer status, followed closely by Ronnie Mako, making his way on the inside of Ace's skates. So Mako chasing Calkins around the track right now and takes a spill, gives up some room to Derek Calkins. Derek's able to get through the pack, call the jam off. He's going to pick up 3 points.
Yeah, he's going to call it out of bounds. He calls it and then ends up out of bounds. He doesn't get the full points for it. Mako coming through the middle of the first and second turn. They're going to come and check for slick spots again.
It's exactly that kind of play that's going to allow the Misfits to get back into this one, although I think it's going to take 4- and 5-point jams instead of 3-point jams with as little time as is remaining in this game.
8:09 yet. Yeah, what they're going to need is I think what they're going to need is probably a good 2 Grand Slam run and then maybe a couple of chips.
Yep. All definitely within the realm of possibility. 8:09 remaining. The score is 145 to 124 in favor of the New York Shock Exchange. It's been a great bout so far.
Yeah, it really has. And for as physical as it's been very well. I mean, the sportsmanship is held up throughout. I mean,
this actually be one of the most sportsmanlike bouts we've seen today.
Yeah. And we know, like as we've said, we know these two teams don't particularly care for each other.
Ladies Night out in front with lead jammer status.
Boy, he got through there quick.
He really did. Chuck Best out as well now, about a half lap behind. Johnny Weichel sent to the penalty box.
Heath Frazier tips backwards, he's down.
And Ladies Night able to slip through and call that one off. He's going to pick up, I think that's all 5 points. Indeed, 149 to 124 is the score.
And Ladies Night, just when they really need him to step up, really came to play for this game.
Well, just like the rest of his team, we were talking about this earlier, New York just doesn't give up, and Ladies Night doesn't either. As much as he may have struggled earlier on today, he's still giving it all out there on the track, and he's been a huge part of what turned this game around for his team in the early going. Ronnie Mako now up against TJ Binkley in the front, trying to find some room to get around him, finally slips along the inside. He's going to be your lead jammer. And at this point, Magic City's really going to have to start getting some lead jammer calls to take control of this game.